So we could basically just go straight into it and just post it as it is. Because I guess the point of it is to make it as natural. It's just a normal conversation between two people, and just to get a sense of your experience with the gateway. I've got a few questions to ask you, but do you have any things on the front of your mind that you wanted to say first up?
Well, it was a definitely a great experience, and it's hard to put into words the effect of this experience because it's something that it's kind of transcending the
Mm,
material plane. So hard to explain the effects, but I can definitely see that this arrived at the right time in my life, and I feel that it's helping to unlock some kind of stuff, and it's also giving me a overall sense of peace. So alignment between well, I think the alignment between the two hemispheres is being also reflected
yeah,
in life, if it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, for
Hard
sure.
to explain how, but I feel a sort of peaceful alignment and less anxiety, which
Okay.
was something that I was working on
Yeah,
lately
yeah.
with the work life and stuff like that. Yeah. So
Okay. All right, that's good. So it you definitely felt that there are some things that it was doing that you needed at that moment. Like this experience came for you at a moment where you were looking for something to help you with a variety of things you were working through.
yeah, I was feeling stuck. Somehow I was going through a plateau moment, and I can see how things are starting to unlock slowly but surely. So there is something that clicked inside that is being reflected. I have no rush in bringing this transformation into the material reality because I want it to be sustainable, and I think this is a good way to make it sustainable. So to slowly work on this sync of the
Mm,
hemispheres.
yeah, awesome. Okay. I have a question about like maybe we start from the start of the program. Did you have any particular expectations? Did you understand anything about hemisync going in? Had you come across the gateway material before?
I had a broad understanding of binaural beats, so that's something that I was already using,
Yep.
but I didn't know all the theory behind it. So the book of Bentov was really useful in understanding the science behind it and how they actually impact your brain. So when you listen to these binaural beats on YouTube, you can feel that they have some sort of calming effect. But then understanding all the theory about how the heart starts syncing its flow inside your body and how you start emitting a more coherent vibration, that's really that answered many questions that I had regarding these frequencies.
Okay, awesome. So did you had broad knowledge of binaural beats? Did you have any expectations of what you were going to experience coming into the gateway training?
Well, I try to not to have expectations when I start a journey because I don't want to put too many rules
Mm,
to how things unfold. So not really a lot of expectations, but I was very hooked by the concept of hemisync after I watched the video about the hemisync document. So some sort of expectation, yes, but I always want to have direct experience of things. I try not to be influenced by what I read. I want to have direct experience.
Mhm.
Also because I think it's different from for everyone. So for someone will be more about astral projection. For someone else, it will be more about unlocking intuition. So the process is always different, but it's definitely, I feel it was, it helped me step up my game also in my work because I work with consciousness, so I teach topics about consciousness, and this helped me connect many dots on a rational, analytical mind level, but also I feel that intuitions are starting to flow more freely, and that's the effect that I was looking for and expecting. So I may be less interested in astral projection or in traveling in the astral world for the sake of it, and I'm more interested in having intuitions flowing more freely, and that's something that I found.
Okay, awesome. I really like that. Like, you care more about getting direct experience, not taking other people's words for things or not getting hyped up. You wanted to find out for yourself. And it wasn't so much about strange experiences, but understanding. Is
Yeah,
that right? Yeah, awesome. Well, we had talked sort of through the first week or two about having some kind of aim. We didn't try to make it too much a part of the training where it was spending too much time doing vision boards and whatnot, but that was definitely an option, and something we did spend a little bit of time on. So I guess the question is, what were you once you got a little bit of familiarity with the technique and the program, what were you kind of hoping to achieve? I know you talked a little bit about just sort of clarity and getting through a plateau. So talk me through a little bit about those things, what you wanted to achieve, and if you'd also say something about, are you close to achieving it? Can you see the path? Just tell me about that kind of thing.
so uh, I okay, can you repeat the questions because I
Yeah, of course, of
didn't
course. Well,
understood the.
in the most basic way, what did you want to get out of it? Once you had a little bit of an understanding of the technique, what were you hoping to achieve? What are your goals with it?
As I said, my goal is to become a better human, so a better instrument, a better channel for a divine plan, because I think we need right now to bring the example of a better world. And in order to do that, we kind of need to live in the future somehow. So we need to have a grasp of how things will look like in a better future, in a better world. And these messages, these intuitions, I know they come from a place that is above. So the goal here for me is always to become a better antenna for this kind of intuitions, because also because of the work I do, I need to bring this kind of new energy on the planet, and I'm always looking for ways to refine my instrument, which is both my hemispheres, I guess. So a way to refine my ability to catch these ideas from the ether, from the higher planes. That's basically what I look for when I start doing these kind of new experiences. Because I already have a broad understanding. I already had different experiences. I already work on myself for a few years. So I I can feel negative emotions at times, but I'm not identified with them as I used to be. So it's not about healing for me, but it's more about becoming able to serve better, to become a better instrument of service in the hands of God.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
it
So
sounds cringe, can sound cringe and a bit
no, no,
weird.
I certainly resonate with that myself. Um, you talked about being a channel and having a better, cleaner instrument that allows energy to move through in service of God's plan, nature's plan, whatever. And so it sounds like it was an extension of self-development, personal development, and you've realized that, you can do stuff on the external world or you can do stuff on your body, and you can also do stuff internally in the brain, the mind, the spirit, whatever. And so this seems like it was part of that more more personal inner journey. It's obviously the effects aren't so obvious on your body the way you would find if you were doing you know, a 6 week, you know, body bulk challenge where you're growing muscle. This is far more about focus and alignment within. So your goal was really to just fine tune yourself so that you're better at all the things that you want to do. Is that about right?
Yeah. Yes. And also I feel like this technique, in hindsight, is a good way to train your mental body. So to become good at visualizing things, and it's like enhancing your ability to meditate, also to enter a meditative state, which I was already familiar with because I've been doing Vipassana. So it was like improving skills that I already developed in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So there's a fine tuning element. I also like what you said about being able to visualize the future, because I think that's an important part of what people call manifestation, right? You need to have something that you're aiming at. You need to be able to clearly identify, visualize, articulate whatever it is, because that then improves the fidelity with which you're likely to bring that about. The clarity of your manifestation has a clear outcome that you can work towards. So I think those are all very good, all nice. Having a good, clean, well-working instrument and better visualization techniques and refine the skills and techniques that you've already built.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I guess I have some practical questions. For instance, how did you enjoy just generally the pace, the intensity? Because obviously we try to cram in a lot into a small amount of time. So understandably, that's not necessarily easy. But how did that work for you?
Okay. So I was able to keep up with the pace almost 100%, but almost. So I read 75% of the book. I'm still finishing it. So, but I think the last part of Bentov's book is more for the sake of personal knowledge. I think the more most important part regarding the MSync is the first half. So I I delayed the end of the book, but I think it's doable.
Yep.
If you want to finish it in 2 weeks, you can. And also with the tracks, I obviously I could have finished the two waves easily, but I decided to spend a bit more time on each one of the waves. So right now I'm still doing the 1 month patterning. I've been doing that for a few days because I
Mm.
really want to make it second nature before I move on. That's maybe something that comes from practicing different skills. I know that I want to set the foundation right before I move on to the next stage.
Mm.
But the point of our journey was to give the instruments so that we can navigate through on our own, so without constant guidance.
Mm.
Even if I would have liked to keep going for many months because I really enjoyed our sessions. And I think you are an amazing teacher,
Thank you.
also because you have a good understanding of the science behind it. It was really amazing to have this weekly appointment to bring more clarity and definitely accelerated the process.
Awesome. Okay, so it sounds like the pace was quick and you were broadly able to keep up. So it's potentially at your threshold, but you didn't find it overwhelming. Is that right?
No, it was my
Okay,
choice to slow it down a
sure.
bit because of my way of learning things.
Yep. Okay. And because, yes, the goal was to give you the tools and enough context so that you can apply them yourself. And as you discovered, the book itself, the first half is kind of crucial. The second half is an adventure through potential ideas and the way Bentov wants to explain them. Um, you obviously watched the CIA document, the video, and read through the document as well. And then the
Yeah.
trainings, you have them all, so they're yours to go through at the pace that serves you. So that's great. I'm happy to hear that you didn't find it overwhelming. And obviously, this is like the entry into the program. Would it be something you'll be interested in down the track if we did, say, an advanced course? Because, for instance, one thing I'm considering is I'll run a couple of these beginner courses with a few different cohorts, 5 or 6 people in each, and then over time run some advanced ones as well, drawing together the people who have been through the beginner stuff, understand the challenges and desires of each of those cohorts, and then start bringing people together who have gone through it, who understand it, are on that spiritual path, and maybe do an advanced course. Is that something that would at least interest you?
Yeah, definitely. I will be happy to hear more about that in the future.
Awesome, awesome. And I like the fact that it seems like you're taking it seriously, like you are taking the trainings, figuring out which ones you can apply to yourself and going deeper in them rather than just getting a wash over the surface level stuff and then being like, okay, cool experience. No, for you, it's more like you want to, as you say, make it second nature. So you want to get a deeper understanding. Right. I really like that.
Yeah, that's always my mindset. I think I have this kind of discipline that I tend to apply to everything I do.
Good. I really
So,
respect that.
to move through quickly through things because I mean it took time to people to figure out these things and to make these tracks and to you to explain it. So I want to give to honor that by trying to master it at the best of my ability.
It's awesome. Yeah, I respect that a lot. The next question I have is about your personal breakthroughs, um, or changes in perspective.
Mhm.
So, was there anything in particular that happened during the training in that 4 to 6 weeks that really did alter your perspective? Anything that clicked for you? Any major breakthroughs that you experienced that you wouldn't mind sharing?
Well, as I mentioned, it was more of a smooth transition. So this training happened synchronistically with a work that I was doing. So as I mentioned, I've been working a lot on my personal project for a couple of years, and I reached sort of a plateau moment, and I feel that cyclically, how do you say that? Like,
cyclical or cyclic,
yeah,
either way
yeah.
works.
In a cyclic way, we tend to go back to all the wounds to soothe them better. So every once in a while, there are old wounds re-emerging, where we end up spending less time than the last time because we already know how to navigate them, so it becomes a bit quicker to get out of these patterns. But we are somehow bound to go back to them because they are also karmic.
Mhm.
So it's our mission to work on them in this lifetime. So I was in one of those moments in which I was working on some old patterns, which I was already familiar with, but they were re-emerging. So I was working also with my therapist, which already knows me. So it was a work that I was already been doing for many years, and I was familiar with it. And this training happened magically at the same in that time. So it was like a extra help to accelerate this process and to bring me to the next stage. So my goal here on this planet is to become a normal human being. It's not to
Yeah,
become a special astral
yeah,
projector.
sure.
I think when you look around, one of the goal for a human being is to become normal because it's something that most people is lacking. So people live in a state that they think it's normal because if everyone is in that state,
Mm.
and I've always I've also been in that state, and all of us have been in that state. So it's common, but it's not normal. And when you experience what a normal is, then you you want to work in that direction. And I feel this this training was an amazing helping hand in this process that I was going through.
Okay,
So
fantastic.
because I'm not
Uh,
looking for something special, because I already had experience with the psychedelics and stuff like that, and I know that that's not the point of the human experience to have super extraordinary psychedelic experience.
mm,
I I'm more interested in being grounded and to bring a message of uh, a normal human being. So someone that is he's happy when he wakes up and he's happy when he goes to sleep and he's able to be happy in
mm,
a chill state, normal state during the day.
mm.
That's I think is a goal that is it's a big goal for a human being already.
Yeah, makes sense for sure.
And that's how I feel now after this work.
Yeah. And so this was a supportive aspect to the inner work you'd been doing, as well as the therapy, and really just you're just about getting grounded and getting clear rather than trying to have out there experiences. So it wasn't
Yes.
about astral projection, lucid dreaming, etc. for you. And I think that's good and mature. Like I don't necessarily even want to advertise this as a way to get sort of some psychedelic experience. Although with full acknowledgement that those things are possible because we're playing with altered states of consciousness. Um, so your viewpoint aligns reasonably well with mine, and that is I want to understand this stuff. And so I'm curious what people experience, but I try not to project too much onto people's experience to say, oh, yeah, do this and you'll have all of these things. Um, although I'm conscious that altered states in general do allow for those kinds of peak experiences, etc. So, yeah, I think we're in agreement there. But I'm happy to hear that you were just more about understanding, being grounded, and just working on progressive improvement, let's say.
Yeah. I think the difference is I already had those experiences, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand something that I already had, but I don't necessarily need to see that again because I know it's there,
Yep.
right? I know those dimensions are there. I'm more interested in bringing that in this plane of existence. While I understand that someone else that maybe never had that experience may be looking for that in the emisync. So they want proof of that experience, and
Sure.
they can have it if they work in that direction.
Absolutely.
Just different positions.
Okay, so given your relatively self-aware viewpoint on this, did you find anything that did surprise you or that you weren't aware of that just came up, whether it was a personal experience or something from the training or theoretical, anything like that?
Well, the book of Bentov gave me a good understanding, a better understanding of how, how our consciousness blends through other levels of superior levels of consciousness. So I think the understanding came again smoothly. It was not one moment of great intuition, but I feel that after 6 weeks, my understanding is greatly improved because I already had some sort of understanding, and this helped connect many dots, not with something pyrotechnic,
Yeah, yeah,
like no fireworks, but a smooth connecting of the dots in the background.
yeah.
That's
Awesome.
what I felt.
Fantastic. Okay. I guess last couple questions. One, are you still practicing or do you plan to continue practicing? I think you
Yeah.
sort of answered that a little bit already, but what do you think the future of your interaction with HemiSync or the kinds of the because there's obviously the training and then there's the theory behind it. So, and you already do Vipassana. So what does your personal training look like going forward?
Yes, I'm still practicing. So even last night, yesterday evening before going to sleep, I practiced. So I listened to the track, and I plan to keep going at my own pace, slowly, because I can feel the benefit of it. So I can
Awesome.
feel the alignment, and I want to explore it further. The other question was,
Well, it was broad. So there's the training itself, and then there's how you're kind of going to use it. So there's the theoretical elements. And I know as a musician, there was
mm,
some questions that came up about maybe deconstructing it or reconstructing your own. So are you going to incorporate it in any way into your life aside from the training?
yeah, my plan is to start incorporating binaural beats in my own music productions. But for that, I feel like I need more understanding
Okay, cool.
of the track.
Yeah. That's
So
something I'm really curious to hear more about when you do.
mm,
And because I know
yeah,
Abel is excited to do similar things. So I think hopefully you two stay in communication to some degree. Even if that's facilitated through me, I'd be happy to. And I'd be curious to see what you guys come up with.
yeah, I will text him. It's something that I was planning to do, but then life gets super busy, so
Of
you
course, of course.
it's hard to keep up with everything. But I definitely want to send him a message and see if we can maybe do a little collaboration, and maybe you can bring your knowledge. I think it would be interesting to. I think once you understand how to replicate the principle, you can make potentially new guided meditations, and you also personalize the tracks. You have a client that has
Mm,
some sort of roadblocks, is facing some sort of a roadblock, and you can make a personalized meditation track with this technology just focused on him.
yeah, yeah. I'm super keen, super curious to hear how this plays out. I'll be happy to facilitate any way that I can. And if there's some collaboration that involves my knowledge with your music skills, yeah, that sounds great. Final question, man, is basically, do you have any other feedback, anything else that you wanted to tell me or put out there? Anything that's on your mind, just generally?
Well, really, it was a pleasure to work with you, and I don't know if you need to hear this, but I think you are definitely on the right path
Uh,
to
Thank you. Yeah, this is not a
you're
chance
doing.
necessarily for you to blow smoke up my butt, but obviously I do enjoy hearing it because it's passion of mine to do this kind of work.
Yeah, and also I think you're like your account on X is underrated, so I think you should have a bigger following because I see random people with huge following that
Yeah.
you wonder how why.
Yeah, I guess it's just a game that I haven't really figured out how to win, and I'm not sure how motivated I am to put all of my energy into it. But I think this kind of thing will be something that I will try to promote more because you know, this kind of work is super interesting to me, but I don't talk about it as publicly or as often. So I think that's probably something that would have to change if I really wanted to grow socially.
Yeah. I think that well, maybe we can end the video and have a little talk about this
Sure.
other stuff.
Sounds good. So any final things that you wanted to add? And then also, if you have a website or a social media account or coaching program that you wanted other people to know about, put it in here because look, I can't guarantee traffic on this video, but at the very least, if somebody sees this and wants to know more about you, where can they go?
Yeah, so I at the moment my main channel of communication is X. So my handle is Riccardo Carra 44, which is
All right, I'll make sure that there's a link associated with the
cool.
video.
And my mission is to teach inner alchemy. So I coach people through a program that I created that is called the Modern Alchemy. That is meant to bring alignment and awareness, spiritual awareness into daily life. So it's not the new age stuff that makes you run away from the material world into a more elevated state, but it's a way to bring spiritual work into everyday life. And that's the main work that I'm doing at the moment. So if anyone is interested, I'm happy to have a talk
Excellent.
about that.
Okay, fantastic. And I can say from personal experience that it is a great program. You're a very good teacher. You have very good insights into alchemy and how to bring it into everyday existence. And in fact, that's how we met, right? I think I
Yeah.
was your first client, was I not? Yeah,
Reagan was my first client, so
yeah.
I was very grateful for that.
So if anybody is thinking about working with Riccardo, I can give a personal endorsement that it is great. He's a good man, worth working with. And on that note, why don't we end it there?
Yeah,
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to work with you.
thank you, Reagan.